Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Papaw's place. As always, if this is your first time here, thanks for dropping in. Feel free to drop in anytime you feel. Guys, today we're going to be talking about garden sprays and what I use. I've been asked this several times and I ain't never went in detail, I think. I know I haven't in the last couple of years, so I'm going to go in detail about what I use, what I start with, and how you can save yourself a bunch of money by using the same products that I know some of y'all use. I just buy it in a different way. First, we're going to start out with BT. Now, I can't pronounce that big old word, but I'll pop it on the screen for you. In case some of you new gardeners don't know, BT is used for your caterpillars and like your tomato worms and hornworms, and mainly caterpillar, anything in the caterpillar class, and it works great and is considered organic. But just for an example, here in the garden department, you'll get these little bottles like this, and I don't know if I can read, but this one don't break it down exactly what the percent of BT itself is in here. It says BT and other ingredients. But this little bottle here, now I'm sure it's higher than this now, because I've probably had this little bottle of 2 years. It's somewhere around $12 to $15 for this little bottle. And you use a tablespoon per gallon. I started buying it Dimple, D-I-P-E-L, Pro DF. This little bag right here, now yes, you're going to pay a little more for this up front, but you ain't going to use as much and it'll last you for years and it'll save you money in the long run. You only put a half a teaspoon per gallon of water. It's a granular and it dissolves in your water, a half a teaspoon per gallon. It tells you up front it's broke down. That's 54% BT in there. Where this kind of stuff don't tell you straight up what's in there BT, they just kind of give you a shotgun message there. Excuse me, I can't get message out today. But like I said, you'll pay a little more for this up front, but this is what your agricultural people use. Just say like people raising tomatoes in greenhouses for a living and stuff. They don't buy that by these little bottles. They'd go broke. They buy it in a bigger quantity, higher percentage. It costs you more up front, but in the long run it's probably half price that you're going to spend on keep buying a bottle of this over and over and over, because you're using less of this because of it's got more BT percentage in it. That's example number one. Example number two, I had to pop up a picture of the garden spinosad because I didn't have a bottle of the garden supplied stuff. But Conserve SC cost you more up front, but you only use 1 teaspoon of this per gallon. And you may not need it that stout to start with. Now, I don't know what's on the spinosad, but I'll guarantee you it's less than what this is. Active ingredient spinosad, including spinosad A and spinosad D, is 11.6%. I guarantee you read on them bottles, they ain't gonna be no 11 point something percent. They might be something like a 8%, 10% at tops. You got to use a tablespoon of it where you use a teaspoon of this. That's spinosad, considered organic. That BT again is organic, considered organic. Now, this one here, I don't like using Well, I'm going to go over what I use, and then I'll go over the order I use it in. Matron. Now again, I'll pop y'all a picture up here where you can buy that in the garden departments in their little garden overpriced bottles, making a killing. Or you can go to the animal department and it's the same stuff. It's 13.3%, and I think in the garden it's like 10%. Again, don't hold me exactly to that, but it's less than this. You can buy this big bottle here. This is 1 quart for the price that you'll buy the smaller bottle in the garden department. Plus, this one here is 13.3%, to where you only use 2 to 3 ounces per gallon of water. Just because something's stouter percentage and they sell it in a different department, you just use less of it. It's common sense. And it even tells you on here what to use. Now, it ain't going to tell you in this bottle how to use it on the garden. It tells you how to use it. I use it in my garden and my chicken pens and everything, but you use it in your chicken pens for mites and fleas and dog pens and horses, but it's the same stuff. What I'm trying to point out here, how y'all can save money by buying it out of a different department than just the garden department. Then I use 100% cold press neem oil. Now I bought this half a gallon, had it about 3 years now. I only start out with this in the early spring while the weather's cool, or like days like today, or this week. It's been just rain, 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 rain. It's been a rain again, maybe before I get through with this video, but I'm going to try to spray today. Just as a preventive, I'm going to put my neem oil in my baking soda. But again, you can buy this half a gallon of 100% neem oil, and I think I got it off Amazon back when I got it, but I'm sure everything's went up since I got this stuff. But either way, if it went up, all the garden stuff went up. Just got neem oil in it. But you can get 100% neem oil instead of buying neem oil in these little name brand bottles like this. You get a whole half a gallon. Now yes, you're going, for example, if you go in there and they got this little bottle for $15, you might pay $40 for this one. But you add up how many of these you're going to use at the amount in there as this, and you're going to save a bunch of money. You just keep it in the refrigerator. I keep this in my outside refrigerator. Ain't going to go back. I use baking soda, kind of like a fungicide preventive, which is what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to put about a tablespoon to 3 gallons of water, and I'm going to put about a tablespoon per gallon of water. And I'm going to spray everything today because we just been getting rain after rain after rain. And even though I'm going to know it's going to get washed off before dark, I'm just having to do this more often to keep my bugs down here in Louisiana. So with that being said, how do I start out? Again, I start out with the weakest, most friendly, usable. I guess that's the way you want to say it to me. I start out when it's cool in the spring in the beginning, or in the fall, I use the neem oil. Also, I put just a couple drops of dish soap in there when I mix that up. If it don't start raining, I'll show y'all here in a little bit. But I start out with my neem oil, and just about every time I do it, I'll put a little bit of baking soda in there, even if I don't put the tablespoon per 3 gallons, and that's just what I use. I think you can go up to a tablespoon per gallon, if I remember right. I start out with that. Well, then when I start seeing bugs, start seeing stuff get eat on, I try to determine, just like a couple weeks ago, I had to break the BT out. Had some of them army worms moving in here. The army worms that eat a plant up overnight. When I do that, I go to my BT. I give them one good spraying, and when I spray, I coat it. Especially if you're using this organic stuff, you got to coat them plants good. You can't just mist over them like you did with old Liquid 7 and 7 dust and stuff. You got to coat up, get up under your limbs and coat them good. So I move on to this. Well, if I already got a bug problem starting, about 7 days later, or 2 weeks, according how it hits me in my scheduling, I ain't never good at a straight schedule at spraying. I'll come in there and mix my spinosad and spray everything. Then I kind of watch, and you ought to have them killed down, but as a preventive, if you keep using the same thing, they kind of get used to it. I jump back to my BT, spray a little BT. Now, when it gets to where things starts getting tough with your insects, and I ain't talking about your army worms and hornworms, you got caterpillars and worms, you want BT. Ain't nothing gonna beat BT. Well, it may be something out there strong poison that beats BT, but for gardening, BT works. But when things starts getting a little rough, that's when I go to using this permethrin. I think I'm saying that right, P-E-R-M-E-T-H-R-I-N. They make another one. One's permethrin and one's pyrmectrin or primecto or something like that. I'll put it on thing. It's 2 different ones that's close together. But I'll use this when things starts getting where spinosad ain't knocking them down. Now if things get to where that don't work, which I had 1 year, I'll break out the Liquid 7 or the 7 dust, but I don't like doing that, but I will do it to get things back under control. And usually I hope I can do it just 1 time to get things back knocked down under control, but I've only had to do that 1 time, I think. But I will if I need to. And I don't like using this on my garden until it gets to where the spinosad and the BT don't work. Now there's other stuff out there, but I'm just showing y'all what I use and how I save money on purchasing it by not just purchasing from the garden. Same thing with fertilizer. In my last video just a few days ago, I was showing my fertilizer injector setup. In case you didn't see that, I went over the same thing with the fertilizer, how I buy that blue stuff. Now that's not organic fertilizer, so that just, some of you ain't even gonna want that, but that's what I use in my drip irrigation stuff. Only problem I have with organic stuff, I start out with my own organic stuff, my compost, my rabbit poop, my quail poop, been composting. That's my organic fertilizer. If I need to do anything else, it's through that drip irrigation, I use that blue stuff. Most of you know it from 2020. Even if you've seen the other video, I'm gonna go on and tell it again. All these companies selling that blue stuff, it's all the same blue stuff. But they'll put some and they'll buy it from probably all the same place. I don't know how many places make it. Probably just one, to tell you the truth. But they put it in them little bitty bags with their pretty stuff on it and sell it for a high dollar. And I showed in that other video, you can buy a 25-pound bag of that stuff for about what you pay for them little bitty bags with that pretty stuff writing on it. But anyway, you can go back and watch that video. Same thing, I'm going to tell y'all another quick little story about one day I was at the corner market and a man comes in there and now here in my area, as far as granular fertilizer, all my life is triple 13. And it's that way everywhere. Usually every area has what they get from their suppliers or what's in their area has been there for years. But here in my area, triple 13 has always been your granular fertilizer. Well, she had a pile of it there. And she also had triple 10. because people started wanting triple 10. Well, this fella walks in there, and I'm standing there. He wants triple 8. She said, well, I got triple 10, I got triple 13. Nope, got to have triple 8. She said, well, I can get you some. Yes, give me some. When will it be here? I don't know what she told him. But when he walked off, I shook my head, and she did too. Because triple 13, he could have bought 3 bags for what he had her order, this 1 bag of triple 8, or he could have paid a little bit more than the triple 13 and got the triple 10. Guys, it's all the same. It's just the percentage of it and the stoutness of it. You could buy the triple 13, which in my area is the cheapest. You just use less of it. If you're going to put out 2 tablespoons of triple 8, you only need 1 tablespoon of triple 13. It's percentages of each. What it is. And I don't understand why people don't get that. Now, yes, if you buy an organic, that's different. And if there's some kind of special fertilizer that maybe is a triple 8, but yet it has something else out of the ordinary added in it, which that's rare. They may claim to, but it's going to be very rare. I understand the difference in that. But just triple 8, triple 10, triple 13 in your granular fertilizer. Just buy the cheapest one in your area that they sell and use less of it. That's just my opinion. And I would love to one of y'all that don't agree with me, tell me in the comments. I'm not always right. Maybe y'all tell me something that I don't understand. But anyway, that's all I was showing today is what I spray in my garden, how y'all can save you some money. Now I'm finna mix these up here. I'll point y'all down here to the sprayer here. Oh, and speaking of the sprayer, I'm gonna tell the little story about this battery powered sprayer here. If you ain't got a battery powered sprayer for your garden, you don't know what you missing. I come up on this by accident, so to speak. My wife, a couple of years ago, went to a benefit auction. And she come home, she said, I got you a backpack sprayer. I said, well, that's good, I don't need one. I got a brand new one I use, in my yard service and stuff. I said, but I'll put it out there in case something happens to mine. This will be in the shed. Well, this winter, I'm out there moving stuff around my shed, and I realized this here's the battery power one, 24 volt. And let me tell you, you can get around here quick and get everything sprayed with that battery power one. It's 4 gallons, which you ain't got to put 4 gallons in there if you don't want to tote that much weight. But they also sell little carriers where you can put a strap on it and just carry it, 1 gallon, 2 gallon. And spray with it. But man, that thing has come in handy. I love it. You ain't got to do all that pumping. You just go to spray. But anyway, y'all need to check that out. So today I'm using my neem oil. Now I keep me some in a jar out here because when you keep it in the refrigerator, it gets thick like syrup. And I just brought that out here to show y'all for the video, but I keep this in a jar. Today I'm gonna go and put 4 gallons. So I'm gonna use 4 tablespoons because it's gonna get washed off tonight. That emptied my jar. Now that's on the stout side, 4 tablespoons. You do not want to do that when the temperature is high and the sun's out. Like I said, I'm playing against the rain, so I'm using 4 today. Also, I'm going to put, since I'm going 4 gallons today, I'm going to go with 2 tablespoons of baking soda. Neem oil and baking soda helps with fungus Also, neem oil also helps with fungus, even though it's good on your insects. I'm gonna put about 4 gallons of water in there. Right there, it's getting close to 4 gallons. I'm gonna just put a little squirt of dishwashing soap in there. Some people just spray with soap and water, but the reason I put the soap in here, it helps. How'd I say this? It helps make the neem oil and the water mix together instead of the oil wanting to separate from the water. Now I'll show y'all how I spray real quick. Now, I had rather have this not in the backpack, but since we got it from a benefit auction anyway, we already got it. But look how good it sprays. You can make it go to a fine mist. That's what you need, because you need to get up under there good, soak it down when you're using these organic stuff. How many times would I have had to use that little gallon hand pump? Would have had to stop and pump. I bet I wouldn't be on a 3rd tomato right now, because one thing, it don't put out as much. But like I said, just a tip, y'all need to check these out, even if you don't want the backpack or this Chaplin brand. There's other brands. Who knows, I might leave y'all some links in the description below the video. But guys, that's all I had today. I just want to give y'all tips. Some people keep asking me about what I spray, how I do it. That's what I spray. Like I said, if it just gets right down to they eating me up, I will use 7 dust or liquid 7, but I don't want to. Try to stay away from it all possible. And I hope y'all enjoy these videos. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Keep coming back. Appreciate y'all. God bless. See y'all on the next one.